If you contemplate the Chilean desert with all its secret places, all you will see is a silent expanse. The barren slopes, the mining camps, empty. Silent, like the last abandoned place on earth. And if you imagine the Chilean desert at the time of the nitrate industry, all you would see is poverty, women in shaggy clothes, faceless workers, sad children. You would also see the tumbled down huts, the misery lit up by candles, some sheets of rusted steel for walls and for beds, paper bags and dirt on the ground. You would see humiliating punishments, a pillory where they tied up workers for days and days, uncaring whether at last they died away. The workers' crime? Often nothing more than a defiant glance, fruitless rebellion, mere insolence. The law of the rich boss is a sacred law. You would see the wages they earned. Money was not to be seen, just tokens, one for each day of work, to be redeemed for food at the boss's store. Beware of buying elsewhere. This was in no way possible. Although it might be cheaper, it was prohibited by the company. And while the worth of that token had fallen in time, they still paid out the same thing daily. There was never any raise. If you contemplate the Chilean desert with all its secret places, you will see a hushed wasteland. But if you look at the desert as it was, you will still hear some painful laments. Over the years, there was too much damage, poverty, injustice, intolerance. They couldn't stand it anymore. They had to fight for their rights. At the end of 1907, there was a strike at San Lorenzo mine, and at that instant, a cry flew through the desert. From one to another mine, gusting winds of workers' protests. From one to another mine, expressions of indifference and contempt from the owners. What does it matter if they rebelled? These dispossessed? These pariahs? Soon they'll come crawling back. Hunger will drive them back with bowed heads. What could be done? What? When no one would listen, the workers asked themselves. Our just demands are so small. Must we give up all hope? So, in spite of suffering, but with the will to live and to fight, their sense of purpose slowly grew. There was only one place where they would understand. They would have to go to the port, Iquique. From the 15th to the 21st of the month of December, they made the long and difficult journey across the many slopes of the hot and dry desert. 26,000 people or more carried their silent exhaustion across the sands. Anxiously, they arrived in Iquique. These underdogs are coming in by the thousands from the desert. These beggars, they begged for nothing, only for an answer to their demands, a straight reply. Some people in Iquique understood what was going on. These were the union workers, and some joined up with them. Support came from the carpenters, the shipyard workers, the cartwrights, the painters, and the tailors, bargemen, the bricklayers, the bakers, gas fitters, and supply workers, the stevedores. The union of the poor people offered their just support. Members of the wealthy establishment were filled with fear. It's a lot to put up with, having to look at all these workers, these people from the desert. They can't be trusted. They're probably all thieves or assassins. They bolted and barred their homes. They peered, now and again, outside their windows. They closed the stores. You have to take precaution against such beasts. The best thing would be to collect them all in one place. They can't just wander the streets. They pose too much of a threat. The place where they were taken was a vacant school, and the school was called Santa Maria. They left the workers there, They left them with smiles, saying they would wait only a day. The workers trusted them. Their patience would not fail, for they had waited all their lives. 7 days they waited. But what a hell arose when hunger began to consort with death. The workers are always a problem, a danger. Precaution is necessary. Thus the state of siege was declared. A breeze carried a message. A distant drum could be heard. It was the 21st day of December. Nobody should say a word, for about to arrive is a noble soldier, a general. He will know how to address them with the care shown by a lord to his slaves. The general arrives now, amid much pomp and well guarded by his soldiers. The machine guns are displaced and entrenched securely around the school. From a balcony, he addresses them in dignified tones. Here's what he said. Nothing is served by these theatrics. Stop inventing this misery. You don't understand propriety, you're ignorant. You're being disorderly by being hooligans. You're disturbing the peace, you're traitors. You're stealing from the motherland, you're thieves. You all violated women. You are ignominious. You have killed soldiers. You are murderers. The best thing for you to do is to leave without protest. You can petition time and again, but you will receive nothing. Now come out here from your hiding places, and if you don't follow orders, you'll be sorry. From the school, Redhead, a fired-up worker, responded without a quiver in a valiant tone. You, General Sir, do not understand us. We'll continue in hope no matter the cost. We're not animals. We're not in herds. We'll raise our hands with our fists in the air. We will give new vigor by our example, and the future will be ours, I promise you. And if you want to make threats, here I am! Shoot me in the heart! The general, having heard him out, did not hesitate. With rage and a haughty gesture, he fired his gun at the worker. The first shot was the signal for the slaughter to begin, and thus the inferno starts with the firing of machine guns. 3,000 men, women, and children were killed, one by one. 3,000 innocent souls. The Santa Maria school saw workers' blood, the blood that knew only misery. 3,000 innocent men, women, and children silenced forever. I see a child playing now at the Santa Maria school. If he's digging to find treasure, what? What does he hope to find?